Hello and welcome to this live session, and today we are going to learn about what are all the changes due to GST reforms that recently government announced and how it will impact a lot of sectors and how you can benefit from those sectors in your investing journey. So let's go deeper. Let's dissect these sectors and let's understand what are the implications and how as an investor you are going to benefit. So if you are all getting started with this and are you all ready for this, just type ready in the comment box and let's begin today's session on GST reforms and its impact. All right, so welcome to this session and great to have all of you here for this amazing session. So what we'll be discussing today is what are the implications of a recent announcement of government, our FM and Modi government, what they announced in terms of GST reforms. Let's go here and let's get into this. Okay, so if all of you are ready, just type ready as usual and here we go. So this is what we are going to discuss in the first starting point of this journey. So let's understand first the disclosures. Okay, so these are all SEBI disclosures. Just give me a second so that we can connect offline. All right, so these are SEBI disclosures and this is not an advice and I might be holding some of these companies in my portfolio. So that's a quick disclaimer from my side. Let's go deeper into this journey. So first, this was the notification which came out on various handles and it was given that there are a lot of sectors where there are multiple changes that has happened. Now, this is a major step in GST rationalization after a very long period of time because earlier, there were multiple GST rates. There was 5%, 12%, 18%, and then you have 28%. And on top of that, there were a lot of cess and related things which were there. Now there is a direction towards simplification and convergence of the steps. So first of all, that itself is a very important step directionally that government is thinking in terms of simplification and fewer rates. Now let's understand sector by sector, and what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a deep dive analysis both what is happening as a sector level. We'll discuss some of the companies and I'll also be doing a technical analysis and live because the impact is still going on and the market is live right now. I'll be sharing what is the impact and how does the chart look like and what is the overall outlook of some of these companies live as we speak. Okay, so you'll be getting a connection and a perspective how to connect the dots with fundamentals and technicals. Okay, so let's go first with insurance sector. So if you see insurance sector, particularly the individual health and life insurance sector, the major move that has been happened here is from 18% GST it has been 0%. Okay, so as a individual, all the individuals are going to get benefited. Now there are two schools of thoughts here, that one, there won't be any input tax credit, so how will companies offset any expenses related input tax, and that might actually increase the premiums. But the other school of thought is that it's just for individual life and health insurance. So the companies which are providing multiple other insurances, let's say business insurance or any other ancillary insurance which is not linked to individual, they might still have some GST component which they can offset with expenses. So technically a multi-insurance kind of company who has not just individual life and health insurance but all the kinds of insurance might benefit. So let's see live what is the overall outlook in terms of the sector. So let's see here. This is the LIC India chart. So if you see today's market movement is just 1% here. Overall, we are still in slightly downtrendish zone and there is not much of excitement here because predominantly LIC has major contribution from individuals as such. Second, if you see HDFC Life, in fact, this is negative zone. So HDFC Life, if you see SBI Life, if you see ICICI Prudential, if you see Star Health Insurance, the overall outlook of the kind of movement that has happened is not so great. In fact, morning there was some bit of excitement, there was some bit of up move in Star, there was some bit of uptick in SBI Life, there was some bit of uptick in HDFC Life, but as the day passed by, the outlook has been negative, which clearly indicates that people are not expecting major positive move in the insurance sector, at least from the current market movement. That is what is clearly visible. These are some of the companies, but overall, I don't see a very positive impact that is happening in this sector. So let's not focus too much there. The second sector is auto two-wheeler sector. Now, what has happened here is some of the two-wheeler companies which were less than 350cc, the tax rate was 28%, and now that has been reduced to 18%. And that clearly means that the companies will be able to have higher margins, and some of those benefits they'll be also passing on to the consumers, and that will be a win-win situation in this sector. So some of the companies in this sector to watch out for is Hero MotoCorp, Bajaj Auto, TVS Motor Company, Eicher Motors, and Greaves Cotton. Now let's see what is the overall implication in some of these companies. So if we see Hero MotoCorp, it's slightly positive, but we need to note that even before this news came in, there was already announcement that happened on 15th August. And if we see the price move starting around 15th August, we have already discounted that by around 15% move. So although today is not a great move, it's just 1% up, but we have to note that auto sector has been discounting this for many weeks right now. In fact, we use our tool called ridewinners.com, where we actually get a lot of sector related updates. So if I see what is happening to auto and auto ancillary, let's search for auto, and you can see like auto two-wheelers, the trend already started since last 2 weeks. There was a lot of price action happening even before the news, and a lot of uptick in terms of stock prices already happened. Right, so the moves already was discounted, but still it is positive, and there is no negative moves even today. If you see TVS also, like there was a gap up opening on 15th of August, and from almost 3,000 rupees we had almost 10 to 15% move happened here also. Same goes with Eicher Motor, the move already happened. In fact, today there was much of excitement, but then probably people realized that Eicher Motor mainly has bikes more than 350cc, or even if you see their Royal Enfield is almost like 350cc. So some of the segments might benefit, and partly it has been already discounted, and there was already a move that has happened, but still it is on a positive note. Now let's move forward and let's try to understand four-wheeler, tractor, and three-wheeler part of the segment. Now major beneficiary, I believe, in this is again two-wheeler and three-wheeler, because three-wheeler, again, it was very unjustified that people who are providing alternative to public transport, they are getting penalized with almost 28% return. So how many of you agree that something which is for a larger public, it need not be taxed like a sin product of 28%, right? So it's a very welcome move, and a lot of small auto drivers, and we talk about employment and mass employment on the ground. One of the sector where mass employment gets created at a bottom level of the society is auto drivers, and that is a very positive move. Some of the companies who are in bigger players in three-wheeler segment like Bajaj Auto, TVS Motors, Atul Auto, you have Mahindra and Mahindra, they have some portion of it. They are going to get really benefited. And one of the major moves that we have seen today is Atul Auto and Mahindra and Mahindra. See this, like Atul Auto was in a downtrend for a very long time, and today with a big volume, with a gap up, and still with a big follow-up move, we have seen the shift that has happened in the prices of this company, right? Although this is not a very high growth company, but the kind of moves are very positive here. And same goes with Mahindra and Mahindra. It was consolidating for a few days, but today we saw a gap up opening of around 6%. Greaves Cotton, there is not much of impact. It's almost flat. Maruti is almost flat. And remember, Maruti also from 15th August, as I said, we had already a 10%, 15% kind of move. Same goes with Tata Motors. It is almost flat. And if you see Force Motor, in fact, it is bit down, right? Because Force Motor really doesn't have much of the segment which is directly getting benefited out of it. And some of them was already discounted. Now, if you want this PPT and you want to download and refer this later, because I've done a deep dive analysis, I've gone to every possible sector and actually found out which all companies can benefit, and also connected the dots for all of you. So it's a big presentation. So just in case you want to download this presentation, you can go to this QR code, or alternatively you can just go to this link, which is called technofunda.co/GST sectors. Okay, this way you will be able to download this entire presentation, and you will be able to refer it again, just in case you want to do a deep dive analysis, because this news is very powerful news for multiple sectors, and it will have a long-term implication on the volumes and the growth of these sectors. Yes, so if you have downloaded it, just type done so that I can move to the next step. And there is one more thing which we do is we do a live masterclass on the system building. And if you want to learn more on investing, more on compounding, this is the QR code which you can go for, and you can also participate in one of our free masterclass which we do for financial literacy and more awareness in the society. Okay, so you can just go to technofunda.co/webinar, and you can even register here for free. So let's move to the overall, what is the impact on the auto sector. So if you see the overall impact, there are multiple areas which this government has touched upon. Okay, so there is one bicycle segment where GST got reduced from 12% to 5%. This will be again very useful to people at a lower strata, even college and school going students, particularly in the rural area. We have two-wheelers, small cars. Again, this is a big boost. So that slide was also here. So even the car segment, earlier, we were feeling like some of the cars which are even like compact cars, hatchbacks, it was taxed 28%, which was insane. Now car these days in majority of the cities, and particularly hot cities, it has become a necessity. It is no more a luxury. And plus, because there is not much of public transport available, it is a very big necessity in all the middle class families. So it has been a welcome move where even these smaller cars, which was earlier taxed at 28%, is now taxed at a lower rate. So some of the beneficiary are again Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra, and Hyundai, as well as Force Motor. And of course, the tractor sector has also got benefited. These are some of the players. And of course, as I was discussing, the last but not the least, one of the biggest trigger is also on the auto ancillary players. So people or the companies who are giving components to auto sectors, there has been again a boost of reduction from 28% to 18%. So some of the companies which will benefit here, this is not an exhaustive list, but you will have a lot of these companies like MRF, you have Apollo Tires, you have JK Tires, Seat, TVS Sri Chakra, Exide Industries, you have Bosch, Schaeffler, a lot of these forging companies, fastener companies, companies like Minda, companies like Minda Corporation, Suprajit Engineering, Jamna Auto, a lot of these companies might get benefited. So let's try to understand what is the overall moves. So one of the tractor companies, Escort, you have seen a big up move, like there was a big uptick in the morning, but then that got sold into. Then you have VST tillers, which got an uptick, but then again the move is not very big. Companies like Minda, very small moves. Again, this company had a big move after the announcement of 15th of August. So it has already moved like around 10%, but now there is no follow-up move. In fact, Suprajit is down, and a lot of other auto companies like JBM, Electra, Bosch, Schaeffler, they are not doing much. So this is what market is giving a verdict that, hey, they are not too much excited about it, because most of these benefits were anyways getting set off with the OEMs, because these are middle level suppliers. They are not end producers, right? So what happens here, I'll just explain you a bit so that you get a context. So say for example, there is a car or a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler, which is, say, the price is 1,000 rupees, and they are having a GST of 28%. So say Mahindra and Mahindra, you have Eicher Motors, Maruti Suzuki, some of these big players, they are selling customers at 1280. That is like 28% on the 1,000 rupees MRP which is there, right? So 1,000 rupees MRP, 1280. Now for consumers, now what will happen is, they are getting it at 1280. Suppose all the component manufacturers are giving these players like Marutis of the world 500 rupees, all the kit of components which is going to them. Suppose 500 rupees they are giving, and they are also charging 28%. Now what happens is, this company already charges customer 28%, say 280, and here it is 140 rupees of GST. So they can easily net off this GST, and it doesn't matter to them, what is the GST rate of auto ancillary. And for them also, it doesn't matter, because they are also just supplying to the end consumers, the OEMs of the world. Now when this 280 rupees is reduced to 180 rupees, for consumer it is beneficial. But because this auto ancillary is anyways giving to OEMs, and they are just passing the GST to the end user, there is actually not any difference as such. The only difference is, if because of the uptick in the volumes of these two-wheelers and four-wheelers and three-wheelers, the number of the parts they are selling is increasing, the volume is increasing, that is what is the trigger. So the economies of scale is the trigger, but the GST benefit is not a real trigger. It's just the volume uptake which is very, very important, right? So that, please keep that in mind. So if you are clear on this, just type super clear in the comment section and let me know if you are loving this so far. We will be doing even more deep dive from here as well. Okay, there are a lot of important sectors which we are going to cover. And by the way, if you have not seen my auto sector video, please go and watch it on my YouTube channel. So I've actually done a deep dive analysis on auto sector, how to analyze auto sector, how to understand the value chain of auto sector, how all these things are interconnected. I've done a deep dive video, and there are a lot of videos like this on my YouTube channel. So please make sure you learn and you understand how to actually dissect all these things. So the next sector is water waste management sector. In fact, I had done a very detailed video on this also some time back, which is called water waste management theme. Okay, so you can again search on my YouTube channel Vivek Mashrani wastewater theme, and you will get to this video. So some of the companies here which will benefit is Antony Waste, Eco Recycling. You have companies like Gravita India, Ganesha Ecosphere, Just Engineering, Vatek Wabag, and a lot of these. So let's see what is the overall moves in some of these companies. Okay, so I've created a detailed watch list, and I'll also give you the link of this watch list just in case you want to refer to it. You can always do that. Okay, so let's check out some of these companies. In fact, let me see if we have. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just pick up couple of companies. Okay, so let's pick up first Just Engineering. What is it doing? So Just Engineering, at least nothing much moving here. It is almost flat. Let's see what is Vatek Wabag doing. Okay, so let's see. This also is not a very excitement kind of move. And even let's see Ganesha Ecosphere. Okay. So broadly, Ganesha is also not much in uptick, right? So I think broadly, uh, only Eco Recycling Limited has a very, very big up move. Otherwise, broadly, it is kind of flat. Even Gravita is down, so there is not much of move out here. So only major company which you need to study based on the price action is Eco Recycling, where there is some kind of move that has happened. Okay. So let's move forward. The next sector is fertilizer. So there are a lot of fertilizer stocks which are going to benefit, and there is a correction of inverted duty structure. Now, guys, please remember, one of the reason why these sectors are being chosen, and there is some kind of adjustment on the reverse taxation and GST has been made, because a lot of these sectors were also export oriented sectors, and some of them were also US denominated sectors, and because their demand has gone down because of the tariff uncertainty, government wanted to at least ensure that they get some kind of orders and some kind of momentum in the mainstream domestic market. Okay, so one of the reason why this is also happening is because government also wanted these companies to benefit from the domestic demand because of all the tariff thing that has happened. Okay, so next move that has happened in some of these stationery sectors. So some of these companies are going to benefit because it's GST free, no GST and multiple of these things. Although the demand for this is inelastic, just because the prices go down, people generally don't buy more of pencils and crayons and all those things. It is an inelastic sector. But let's see what is the kind of move here. So we have got some companies here as well, which we will study. So let's see what is going on here. So if we see Navneet Education, as I said, there was excitement in the morning, but then probably people have realized that, hey, people don't buy more of pencil just because it is cheaper by few percentage, right? So same way, Sundaram is almost flat, Kukoyo Kemlin is almost flat. There is not much of movement there. In fact, all the excitement in the morning has actually gone down. Okay. Then if you see Flare, that is also almost flat. There is not much of move. And Link Pen, there is some bit of uptick which we have seen. Okay, so that is broadly what is happening. The DOMS industry, which is again a proxy of this, has actually got benefited, and there is some bit of uptick here. So just see what is happening in DOMS and kind of go deeper into it so that you get a perspective around this as well. Now, one more very powerful move that has happened in the construction sector. Some of these tractor tires, the prices got reduced. The cement sector has benefited immensely because the reduction has happened from 28% to 18%. So let's see what is the move in some of the cement stocks, okay, and the infra stocks. So let's see some of the cement stock. Okay. So let's see what is happening in Ambuja. Again, same thing. Morning there was excitement. Today it sold off. Then let's see some few other cement stocks. So what is happening with Ultratech? Same thing. There was excitement in the morning, but it got sold into. So probably, market is not expecting much of benefit due to this on the cement sector, because again I feel because it's one of the input for the real estate industry. It is not directly they were paying, and it generally doesn't matter because it's just an input to the end consumer, so they might anyways offset it. Now, one of the major boosts that has happened, again this is more like a rivalry against Trump and tariff. There is a big significant cut of 7% on microchip related material, semiconductor related sector, and some of these companies might again benefit. Let's try to see what is the overall impact that is happening in this sector as well. So if we see companies in this sector like let's say PGL, and you have Sirma and all these companies, let's see what is the impact happening there. Yeah, so if you see PGL is slightly up. This also is a major AC assembly manufacturer. Sirma is actually nicely positive, and it already had discounted, but now there is a follow-up move. And then you have companies like Dixon also 1% up, but not a significant move. So overall, the major move that has come is in a company called as Moschip. Okay, this is a very prominent chip manufacturing company, and if you see the move in just last 3 days, this was already discounted almost 20-25% kind of move. Let's see if it came in our screen anytime. So let's try to search. I'm also real time doing this analysis, so just trying to see if there was a price volume action. Yes, there was a price volume action in most chip, and if we see even in the trend screen on Ride Winners, let's see if it was, yeah, it actually triggered 2nd and 3rd September, both days it automatically started triggering the signal that there is some kind of price volume action that is happening in the MOS chip as well. So the stock to focus in the semiconductor space, as you can see, is MOS chip, and study more around it. Otherwise, there is not much of move happening in other companies as such. Then there is a reform in the textiles sector. So some of these exporters of textile, again, raw materials and the end product as well, the GST rate have been reduced significantly from 18% to 5%. Same goes with home textiles and carpets. Plus the hotels below 7,500 per day. So most of the, you know, 4 star, up to 4 star hotels are mostly covered in this, because if you see, these are the kind of rates of 4 star hotel. So barring 5 star hotel, I think most of the hotels are going to benefit, and this is a direct push in some of the hotel related stocks. So let's try to check in what is happening in the hotel sector. So if you see, Indian hotels broadly flat, EIH broadly flat, Lemon Tree slight uptick, Orient. Only hotel which we can see a big major up move is Sinclair's. This is a Kolkata based property, but apart from that, there is not much of movement. Now, this is a powerful messaging by markets. You know, market is a discounting machine, and most of these things, you know, markets have probably already discounted or not much excited about it. The another major push that is happening is in the space of green energy, and I have done a detailed video on this. If you want to see on a renewable energy space, I believe this is a very big mega trend, and you can actually benefit from this in a powerful way. So if you want to learn about renewable energy sector or green energy, just search with Vivek Mashrani green energy or renewable energy. You will find this video, and I've done a very powerful video on how to analyze these green energy stocks, as well as how to pick up top performing stocks, like how we are doing right now. There are a lot of stocks in a sector, but which stocks are strong stocks among that is also very, very important to know. So if how many of you watched this video, how to buy strong companies? Just type me if you have watched this anytime earlier. If you have not yet watched it, just type NY in the chat box so that I know you have not yet watched it. Please make sure you watch this video. It's a 20-25 minutes video, but I've really gone deep in terms of how to pick up strength and what kind of stocks to pick within a sector. Like, what is the process, what is the rationale, how to go about it. Okay, so please make sure you watch this. Now let's move forward into what we were discussing on the green energy side. So green energy again is one of the mega trend and a futuristic sector where there is a big boost, and these are the kind of companies which are going to benefit. Let's again see what is the move that is happening in some of these companies. So if you see, Suzlon is broadly flat, Inox Wind is flat, this is actually down, Adani Green is flat, KPI Green is flat, Green Power is almost flat. Only there is one company which I am not tracking very closely. It's a very volatile or violent company. I don't know if it is even relevant. No, it is not a relevant company. Borosel Renewable, Websol, Solar. So broadly, not much of move in the green energy space also. Market was slightly excited in the morning, but almost everything got sold off in this sector also. Then you have packaging stocks where there is a significant reduction to almost 5%. Let's see what is the move in some of these stocks. Okay, so let's see what is the move in stocks like SL Propec. Let's see what is EPL doing. Okay, so EPL is almost flat. Most of these are again flat. There is not much of move here as well. All right, so let's move forward. Decorative woods, again there is a lot of moves. Again, healthcare sector, there is a significant reduction on devices and drugs and medicine and even spectacles, right? So now they've realized that this is not a luxury, this is a necessity. And a lot of individual life and health insurance also is a trigger here, because now more and more people would want to have life insurance policies. So let's see what is the impact on some of these players in the industry. Okay, so let's go with Narayana. What is this doing? Let's go there. So NH Fortis, again almost flat move. Okay, the only space I see is the diagnostic space, which I'm coming next, and this sector was slightly strong since few days. Okay, so there is a significant decrease in GST in diagnostic plays also, And if you see, most of these players are really positive. Like Metropolis is up, Krishna is up 4%, Vijaya is up 2.3%, Thyrocare is up 5%, and then you have some of the hospital stocks also doing great. So I think one of the sector to focus is diagnostic sector among this, right? So three-wheeler, diagnostic, these are some of the sectors which is there. Again, as we discussed, not much of move in the AC companies also, but these are the companies you can refer. Again, not much of move here as well. Another sector which they touch upon is kitchen appliances. So there are companies like TTK Prestige and Butterfly Gandhimati. Let's see what is happening across these. So TTK Prestige flat, Gandhimati, let's see what is happening. Butterfly Gandhimati appliances is also not doing much. So again, not much excitement here. Then lot of moves have happened in the consumption sector. Okay, so hair oil, toothpaste, toilet soap, tea, coffee, dry fruits, pastries, namkeen, ghee, ice creams, jelly, you have chocolates, paneer. Lot of these things, the GST rate have got decreased. So the government's message is very clear. They have increased the rates on cold drinks and caffeine related beverages. So the government message is very clear: have some cheat days in your food like ice creams and dry fruits and everything, but don't go for sugar based non-alcoholic beverages like Coca-Cola or Pepsi and Thumbs Up and so on and so forth, because obesity is one of the big thing happening in India, and probably people are actually doing that more often, as a substitute of all the natural drinks. Okay, so that is where government is probably very concerned. So a lot of changes has happened. One of the company which I'm tracking in the coffee space is called CCL Products. Okay, so I'll just see what is the move here. Is there any uptick here? So this is one of the company which is into coffee processing, and one of these companies I'm tracking as such. And you can just go through other companies. I would not go detail because there are so many stocks in the consumption space. But broadly, as I see, Colgate Palmolive, there is an uptake of around 3.5%. Gillette, there is an uptake, and there is an uptake in Zydus Wellness. And do you want this watch list, guys? Can I share this watch list with all of you? Yes. So what I'll do is, just for the benefit of all of you, just because you are here live, I'll share this watch list with all of you. Okay, so just go to this link which I've shared in the chat box, and make sure you go through this again and study this watch list again whenever you are free. And also, as I said, the presentation also I've shared with all of you. So just in case you want to download this presentation, you can go to technofunda.co/GST sectors. Okay, so this is where you can download this entire presentation which I'm sharing with all of you. And last but not the least, there is some bit of relief on baby care. How many of you are parents here or just planning for kids? This is a good news for all of you. Okay, so there are some diapers and all these things. There is some bit of relief. Now, last but not the least, we will wrap up the presentation now. Last but not the least, the sin sectors. Okay, so some of the sectors which were earlier not heavily penalized, like non-alcoholic beverages, the Pepsis and Thumbs Up of the world, government has realized that this is very bad for health, and probably there is a revenge for tariff also. Remember, most of this market in non-alcoholic beverages is captured by US led companies like Coke and Pepsi and so on and so forth. So companies like Varun Beverages might get negatively impacted. So let's see what is happening in Varun Beverages as such. Okay, so yeah, there is some bit of fall that has happened after some uptick in the morning. So people are feeling the heat here. Apart from that, there are other companies. So pan masala companies, aerated beverages which is containing sugar, carbonated beverages, even with fruit juice. So there is a big move that has happened. So almost from 28%, the shift has happened to 48%. There might be some adjustment in terms of cess, and even the motor cars, which are bigger cars, more than 1200 and 1500 cc in diesel, that have been again increased, and some of the hybrids with a larger engine size also have got impacted. Yeah, so that is all from my end, guys. And I've already shared the presentation link with all of you. I've already shared the watch list link. Please make sure you study this deeper and just see the price move. You will get an idea where to focus on, because price action is one of the leading indicator and a confirmation indicator in this case. So there are some companies which have got really impacted nicely. Just go through the watch list. Some of the good moves have happened there, but it is not like how people had expected, that there would be fireworks and there would be big up moves. That generally doesn't happen. Market is a discounting machine. Price action generally discounts everything very fast. So when 15th August the announcement was made by Modi government, a lot of these sectors where people knew there is some kind of positive impact, the discounting happened very fast, like healthcare and some of the diagnostic companies, some of the auto companies. So there are only some pockets which are there to bet now, which you should study and go deeper and build your conviction. So that's it from my side. Hope you loved this presentation. Let me know in the comment section if you loved it. And there are a lot of other videos which we have on the YouTube channel, this channel. So please make sure you watch them whenever you have time. So I have one powerful video which I've done around the process of SIP, like how to do SIP. So you can just do SIP strategy Vivek Mashrani search. You will get this video as well. And then there are a lot of other sector video which I've done. It is there on agri-chemical sector also, fertilizer sector, how to benefit and what are the plays there. There is a video on EMS sector, and there are a lot of other videos where you will be able to understand how to analyze sector and how to go deeper in the research of these sectors. So that's it from my end. Thank you so much for being here till the end. Really appreciate you a lot. And in the description section, I've added some more videos and some more materials if you want to go through and learn deeper into this. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. God bless, and wish you all the best. Keep compounding.